right, so when you're playing on dirt fields, you also have like all of the dirt mixed in with the sweat. So I was like, I feel like we need to wash that grossness off, because when you're playing 9 games a weekend, that's a lot of games. So then I was like, let's make a wipe that's gentle, doesn't require any rinsing, and can be used multiple times a day. So then I worked with my manufacturer, who's amazing. They have a chemist on staff, which is great because I'm not a chemist. I just have ideas. And then she came up with the gentle cleansing wipe, and then the breakout defense wipe with the salicylic acid serum on it. So with the serum, it stays on your skin and continues to work in your pores, as opposed just to a salicylic acid face wash, which one of the kids put it on for 5 seconds and then they rinse it off. So it's not actually effective as a face wash, unless it's on your skin for like 2 minutes.
So you want the wipes, not the wash, to really, or to
Correct.
let it like
just really
settle
get
in.
into the pores and clear out the oil and the funk.
Welcome to today's Heart of the Hustle. I am here with Dallas from Clear Champions, and she has created the coolest line of skincare made for athletes. Super easy to use, something you can throw in your backpack. So she's going to tell us all about it today. So super excited to have you here.
Thank you. Very excited to be here.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about you. How did you start a skincare line? Is this something that you always wanted to do?
No, I hadn't worked in the last 15 years. I was just staying at home with my kids, taking them to all the sports, doing all the things. And then my daughter would get a lot of acne during her softball season related to where her face mask and helmet was rubbing. Because, right, all that sweat is just like living there. And then the bacteria from the face mask is just being reintroduced back onto the forehead every inning. So I went down the rabbit hole and I found a product right here, breakout defense spray. It's a hypochlorous acid, and it kills bacteria on your skin and gear. So that was step 1.
So you spray it onto your gear, in between innings or in between games or whatever. My husband's a hockey coach, so I know how stinky and gross all of that gear can get. It's unreal.
Disgusting. Also works on body odor and foot odor. So sometimes you can have your kids spray down in the car before they get in the car. It just makes the ride home a lot more enjoyable for you as the parent.
And so what is it? What kind of acid is it?
It's a hypochlorous acid.
Hypochlorous.
Hypochlorous, yes. So your white blood cells actually make hypochlorous acid when they are fighting off problems in your body. I don't know, it's bacteria, when they're doing the healing process in your body. So it's your body's already used to hypochlorous acid. We're just using it on the outside. So it actually helps to speed the healing of zits that you already have as well.
Oh, because it's helping to kill the bacteria that's in your pores.
Yeah, and fungus, and then it just helps. It's like this magic product that I was like, I use it on my dog's ears because we have a bloodhound and they get fungusy, so it stops him from having ear infections.
That's incredible. Okay, so you start with one product,
Yes.
right? And then how did it turn into, I'm going to create an entire skin line and this is going to be my job?
Well, right, so when you're playing on dirt fields, you also have like all of the dirt mixed in with the sweat. So I was like, I feel like we need to wash that grossness off, because when you're playing 9 games a weekend, that's a lot of games. So then I was like, let's make a wipe that's gentle, doesn't require any rinsing, and can be used multiple times a day. So then I worked with my manufacturer, who's amazing. They have a chemist on staff, which is great because I'm not a chemist. I just have ideas. And then she came up with the gentle cleansing wipe, and then the breakout defense wipe with the salicylic acid serum on it. So With the serum, it stays on your skin and continues to work in your pores, as opposed just to a salicylic acid face wash, which one of the kids put it on for 5 seconds and then they rinse it off. So it's not actually effective as a face wash, unless it's on your skin for like 2 minutes.
So you want the wipes, not the wash, to really, or to
Correct.
let it like
Just really
settle
get
in.
into the pores and clear out the oil and the funk and bacteria.
Interesting. Which so many, I mean, these sweaty athletes need, right? I have a 15-year-old, so I totally get that, right? And so what, you've got a couple other products here, so what else do you have?
So then I also have a spot treatment, which is a salicylic acid, similar to the serum. It's clear, so you'll see kids wearing those like sticker patches. You can just put this on. It's clear. It does the same thing. No one needs to know you're treating your zits.
Though I thought, well, it was like cool to treat your zits with those things or something. Like they've made it cool. I don't know. I've never seen anybody wear them.
I do see people wearing them out, and I'm like, do you know there's a product you can use that won't let everyone know you have a giant zit right there? But I'm not allowed to talk to people about stuff like that, I've been told.
Okay, so what else do you have?
So I also came up with a sunscreen because, I'm at the softball field all day. I've always worn a mineral tinted sunscreen on my face every day. So I came up with a mineral tinted sunscreen, and it has a clip so it stays on the outside of the kids' bags so they can remember to use it between games.
Is it a spray or is it?
No, it's just
a
a pump.
lotion.
Yeah, it's just a
Okay,
pump. So
okay.
you just,
Yep.
there it is. And then I also have another sunscreen that you can use not on your face, on the rest of your body. And it also clips on your bag. Because, the fight of getting the kids to reapply is real.
Yeah. So tell me about who uses the products. Is it mostly like teen athletes? Are you finding adults are loving it too?
I find anyone who is busy in life and sweats. So the line that I created was with, high school and teen athletes in mind, because they're juggling sports, practice, games, school, homework. There's so many kids doing so many things that if they can wash their face in the car, because by the time they get home, they're totally gassed. They want to eat and go to bed, and they're not going to wash their face.
Yeah. Well, or have mom hand it to you, right? Here, wash your face with this.
Yeah, and you've got them contained in the car. You're like, do it now so that you're not breaking out Monday and Tuesday after your tournament.
Especially at least for me as a boy mom, he's just not, I buy him the skin stuff and we've got the, wipes and all that, and he just won't use them, right? You have to remind him. And so do you find that with the other boy moms as well? Is that they kind of have to be like, here, use this right now?
I actually sold to a lot of boy moms this week. They were like, yes, like this is what we need. I'm like, he can have it literally on his nightstand. He can be laying in bed, wash his face. They just put their trash on the ground. Anyway, they're not using a trash can. Wash your face, throw the wipe on the ground, at least your face is clean. Another tip that's super important is changing your pillowcase. A lot of kids do not change their pillowcase, and so they're just continually sleeping on all of that 8 hours of sweat and bacteria. But if they don't want to change it, they can spray it with the Breakout Defense Spray every morning when they wake up, and it'll kill that bacteria from overnight and the odor.
Oh, that's cool. Do you find that more sort of female athletes are, like the products, or they're more easy to adopt the products because they're kind of, in general, a little bit more into skin care?
Yes, well, I don't know if you've heard of skin maxing, face maxing, where they're spending like hours doing things to their face, red light therapy, blue light therapy, high frequency wands, gua shaing, like ice rolling. So female athletes, are more apt to being like, oh my God, yes, I need that. Whereas I think male athletes kind of don't want to be known as, oh, I'm taking care of my skin. I want to have clear skin. So it's really about targeting the moms because they're tired of telling their boys, wash your face, you need this.
Or the boys do, at least for me, again, as a boy mom, they'll complain. They just don't want their friends to know that that they're worried about it, right? They want it to be at home when no one else knows.
Exactly, or in the car.
Or in the car. I love that idea of like washing your face, or getting them to wash their face in the car.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got what, at least a half an hour drive home? Wash your face, spray your armpits, spray your feet before you get in the car.
Yeah. So how are you selling these mostly? People buy them through your website?
Yes, I do have a website, clearchampion.shop. I have a TikTok shop, and through Instagram, it connects to my Shopify website. But I've had most luck selling in person, so I'll get vendor tables at events, and then my athletes are there, so a lot of time there's time between tournaments, games, matches, so they'll wander over and see what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. So how old are your kids now?
About to be 14 and 9.
Aww. So the 14-year-old still plays quite a bit. Is that the softball?
Yes.
Yeah.
Softball, and then she does swimming as well, which her skin is fabulous during swim season. Not so fabulous during softball season.
And then does the 9-year-old do sports as well?
He does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he is basketball, water polo, swimming, baseball. He used to do soccer, but I'm glad we cut that one out.
And were you an athlete growing up?
I was a pinch runner. Like, sports where I grew up was not what it is in Texas. Plus, we were poor, so we didn't have all of the money to seek out select teams and private lessons and have parents to drive you 45 minutes each way to practice or lessons. That just wasn't a thing in my life growing up. Nothing that I even knew was even a thing until really moving to Texas.
Yeah, Texas is a whole other thing. I don't know I think it's, Texas, Oklahoma, kind of the middle of the country is really, really into their sports. Because I grew up on the East Coast, and we didn't have any of that. I grew up in Connecticut. Like, the only sport that anyone ever talked about was like UConn basketball. And that was about it. Like, no, sports was not a big deal, while we were in school. I knew one student at my school who even talked about playing in college. Like, I got a D2 scholarship, right? But that was unusual, right? To play or do any kind of sports in college. And we just didn't talk about it. And here it's a whole vibe.
It's a whole vibe. I think I read a stat that the most Division I athletes come from Texas.
Yeah, well, they're trained so young, and it starts really, really, really young. I know my husband, I've told you, is a hockey coach, and for youth hockey, and he'll be like, well, you're 8. I mean, if you're not already playing by now, and you're not in an elite camp or something, you're never going to make pro. So, I mean, you could try to start, I guess, if you wanted to, but you're not going to even play D1. I'm like, they're only 8. What? How do they even know what they want to do?
Well, they don't.
That's
why playing multiple sports is so important, so that this is a total sidebar, but so that when they get to high school and maybe they don't make the team with the sport that they've always played, they have a fallback sport. Yeah. So my kids are always doing 2 sports in case they get burned out or they have a bad experience with a coach or there's a toxic person on the team that they just don't want to deal with. They've got a backup plan. Yeah. Because you can't just put all your eggs in one basket.
So smart. But once you get to high school here in Texas, you have to pick a sport, and that's kind of your sport forever. I think football and track you're allowed to do kind of at the same time because they want to keep the football players in shape, and so they do track. But my son's a basketball guy, so he had to pick basketball or soccer. You can't do both because the seasons overlap a little bit. But then when it's not during the season, they're still in basketball class every single day. So it's PE, but it's basketball PE, and that you sign up for it for the full year. So you have to pick at the beginning of the year. And even if he wanted to change next year, he's going to be competing against people who already know the coaches. And so, he's 14 years old. He's having to make that choice. And, picked what he liked the best, but who knows if it's gonna stick. I think it's just such a strange thing here in Texas. But again, it's working if the most professional players are coming out of Texas, right? We're doing something right in creating athletes.
Yeah, Division I college coaches love Texas. But yeah, like my daughter's going to do water polo swimming combo in the fall and then softball in the spring. And I think maybe it depends on the coaches, because the water polo coach and the softball coach are just phenomenal human beings, and they're willing to work with athletes, whereas I don't think all coaches are.
Yeah. So where did you grow up? Because you said there weren't a whole lot of sports there. So you're not an East Coaster, right? You're a West Coaster?
Yes, Northern California, very small town between Sacramento and Lake Tahoe. So very small.
Beautiful.
Yes, lots of trees if you're into that sort of thing, lots of mountains. As a kid, you're not.
Yeah, you're like, well, you just don't want to be home, no matter what it is, no matter how beautiful it is. You're like, just get me out of here. I hate it.
Yes, it was the first thing. Out of college, going. See y'all later.
Is that what you did? Did you leave right out of school?
I sure did.
Yeah,
sure did.
Did you go to school up there?
No, I went to school in Southern California.
Okay.
University of Laverne.
And then what did you do after that?
I got my MBA, and I was a teacher. So I taught middle school and high school students for about 6 years. And that was an experience in itself. So glad to not be doing that anymore. This is way better. Even the worst day of dealing with anything Clear Champion is like 2,000 times better than teaching. Teachers, I love you. It's way worse than it was back in the early 2000s.
They're saints.
They are. I don't know how they continue to do it.
I don't know. I can't imagine being a teacher. It's so fun. I go and I do guest teaching sometimes, and I love the high school, especially. Yes. I spoke at it was a fashion marketing class at one of the local high schools. Shout out to Wakeland High School. And I was like, one, how cool is it that you have fashion marketing classes? Mm-hmm. Two, how cool is it that you like bring in people from the outside? And I taught the whole day. I taught the whole class. And I did a social media class. And these are high school kids, they all know, right? But it's a bit more. So I did a personal branding class, and I just thought it was so neat that they had the opportunity to take a marketing course in high school. But the kids were so great, and every time I leave, I'm always like, I'm going to become a high school teacher. And then I'm like, exhausted, right? I'm so excited. I'm driving home. Like, this is the best thing ever. I'm going to be a high school teacher when I grow up. That's what I'm going to do. And I get home and I'm like crashed out, and I've only taught for an hour. I'm like, how do we do this 8 hours a day every single day? Like, they're saints.
Yeah, I don't know. Texas, where I taught, my school day was like 8:30 to 2:30. And so in Texas, it's like 7:45 to 3, and I'm like, oh, that's too long.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot. Texas doesn't mess around.
I know. Okay, so what's next for Clear Champion?
Hopefully growing sales this year. That's the unfun answer. A big goal that I have would be to be able to afford a vendor table at the Clearwater International Softball Tournament that happens in Clearwater, Florida in February, or the Mary Nutter Classic that happens in Palm Springs in February for softball. They're both huge Division I softball tournaments. That would be awesome. And then since we have so many new professional softball teams, they went from 4 professional softball teams last summer to now 8 this summer. I would love to one day be able to sponsor professional softball. Yeah. Like, to have a Clear Champion logo or billboard,
and having them use your products, right? There's women's hockey, there's women's basketball. I mean, women's sports is having a moment right now, and seeing you in the hands of all those athletes would be really cool.
That would be amazing. I would be like, this is my life? Like, how did this happen? And it would just, because, right, all athletes work so hard, spend so much time on their craft, that when you just sit back and think of the time commitment that they've made to their sport, I'm in awe and I'm blown away.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here. If people want to buy the products, tell us again what your website is and where they can find you.
You can find me at clearchampion.shop, and Instagram and TikTok is at clearchampion. Facebook is also at clearchampion. So follow me.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
So we're gonna try out the products. So we actually have my studio assistant who we just wrangled into sitting down with us and letting Dallas do a little face cleaning for her.
We're going to do our 4 steps to clear skin system. You get the card when you order the system so that your athlete knows the optimum order to use the products in. So the first product would be the gentle cleansing wipes. And remember, this is a product you can use multiple times a day. If you just want to wash your face with it, then you're good to go. It requires no rinsing. It's non-drying. So the first step, if you're doing the full 4-step system, would be to wash your face. Just like easy. It feels a little exfoliating.
Yeah, for
There's
sure.
a little texture on the wipe. Then after you wash your face, you want to use the Breakout Defense Spray. And that's can be clipped right onto your bag.
Wow,
And
I'm dirty.
You're dirty?
Jesus.
Yeah, and then just go ahead and spray just like this. You just spray your face.
Oh,
Yeah, and
Like
then
a
you can
mist.
also spray your hat because
Oh.
your hat has all that bacteria from wearing it every day, or the inside of your hat. There you go. Yeah, where it touches your skin. That way it's killing that bacteria that lives on your hat. Then you wait for that to dry. And then the next step would be the breakout defense. You want to use this only where you want to prevent breakouts from happening. So if you never get breakouts on your cheeks, you don't want to use this on your cheeks because it can be drying. So if you get breakouts on your forehead, you use it on your forehead. And it's the same textured wipe, so it's slightly exfoliating, getting rid of those dead skin cells. This is an acne serum. So the serum is better than a face wash because you leave it on your skin so it can really get into your pores and clear out that oil, dirt, and bacteria that gets trapped in there.
yeah, this one's way more exfoliating than the other one.
Yeah. That one's really gonna do a nice job of getting into the pores,
Jeez.
breaking up the oils.
I gotta up my routine.
You need to up your routine to the 4 steps to clear skin system. And then the last one is just your spot treatment. So this is just wherever you have an active blemish, you just put it on there.
I don't have a mirror.
That's fine.
I guess.
There you go, you can guess. And it's clear, so you can be treating your blemishes and no one has to know.
I think I had one right here.
Yes, you do.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
And-
what do you think? How does it feel?
I feel clean. Oh my God. And it smells good too. It smells really good. Yeah.
And was it easy enough to do?
Oh yeah, super easy. Especially since I don't really have a routine.
Oh.
Definitely makes the having no routine to now having a routine, that jump is just so easy to do. So yeah, it was great. Yeah, great experience.